Okay, great. So, do you want to see the program first that we are going to create, or just let's start programming itself? What is your view on that? Do you want to see the program that we are going to create? Do you want to see the project that we are going to create, or let's just start with the coding part? Want to see the demo? Let's start with the demo, guys. I'm very excited. I hope that you guys are also excited. Finally, the project that we are going to see on our resume, right, guys? Let's start with seeing the project itself. First of all, now I'm not very sure if I have the project or not because I was going to code the entire thing from scratch itself. So let's see if we are lucky or not. Okay, if we are lucky, then that's really good. If we are unlucky, it's fine. Like there's nothing that we can do about it, right? So let's hope that we are lucky, guys, and we are able to find the notebook if it's possible. Let me see if I have it or not. I think so. I'm having the notebook right over here. Let us check it out. Okay, it's loading. Okay, so we have the entire code. So this is what we are going to code, guys. This is the entire code. As you're able to see, the entire project is 110 lines of code, guys. That's it. The entire project. Okay, I think so. You guys will not be able to see it. That's so small. Let me just increase the screen a little bit. And let me open up your chat section as well. So I have not yet opened up your chat section. Give me a second, guys. Let me open that up as well. So I'm able to see what you guys are typing. Okay, so this is the project that we are going to create, guys. This is the project that it is going to take us 2 to 3 days. We'll try to make sure that we are able to create the project in 2 days itself, but let's see what happens. Okay, I can't promise anything to you guys right now, but this is the project that we are going to create, guys. The entire code, as you're able to see, it's not a very long piece of code. It's a short piece of code, but there's a multiple components to it. Okay, so let us run this. Let us see what happens. Okay, so it will connect us to the server. So it will take us a minute or two, guys. And once it has connected us to the server, then we can start running the project itself. Okay, so we are, just give me a second, guys. As you're able to see, it is actually initializing the resources right now. Okay, so resources has been initialized. Let us start playing the game, guys. Let us start playing the game. So as you're able to see, the game will first ask you enter 1 for single player, enter 2 for multiplayer. What does that mean? If you are a single player, you want to just play against a particular AI itself, then you have to type 1 right over here. If you want to play against another person, like two, or you and your friend wants to play the game, then you are going to write 2. That's the first step. So if I'm going to write just 1, I want to play against the AI itself. Enter to play first or second. So the app is going to first of all give you a choice that you want to play first or you want to give the AI the first chance. So what do you think, guys? Should we have our first chance or should AI be given the first chance, guys? 1 or 2, guys, right over here. Do you want to play first or do you want the AI to play first, guys? Okay, most of you guys are writing 1, so we'll take up 1 as the answer right over here as well. So now enter the X position from 1 to 9. So what I've done right over here is this is the current state of the board, guys. This is the current state of the board as you are able to see. From 1 to 9, so every like place is numbered, is indexed from 1 to 9, guys. Let's assume we want to place our first X in the middle of the board. Okay, we want to place X in the middle of the board itself. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have to enter 5 right over there. So I will just place 5 right over there, guys. That will enter my X in the middle of the board. As you're able to see, we put our X in the middle of the board. The AI put a 0 on the top left corner, guys. The AI put a 0 on the top left corner. So what should we do, guys, right now? Where should we put our X, guys? This is our step, guys. What should we do right now? Where should we put it up? Please let me know. Where should we put it up, guys? So many of you guys are saying 3, 7 and 9. These are the most numbers that I'm able to see. 3, 7 and 7 is here and 9. Let us go further with 3 itself. What do you guys say? Let's go further with 3. Okay. So we'll place 3 right over here, guys. So now this is the current state of board, guys. We don't have an option. We'll have to place our X right over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We will have to place it at the 4th position because the 0 has already been placed. Now, where should we put it up? No matter where we put it up, it's a draw itself. Nobody can win. So no matter what where we are putting it up, it's a draw as well. Let's put it up at the second particular position, or let's put it up at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th position itself. Let's put it up at the 8th position. And now we are having just 9 at the last number. So as you are able to see, it's a draw. So the final state of the game is draw itself. So AI is going to make sure that either it is winning or it's a draw itself, guys. It will never let the human win. That is how the game has been built right over here using the min-max algorithm that we learned in our yesterday's class itself, guys. Okay, I hope that the demo of the game was something that you guys liked, right? The entire thing has been coded just in Python, as you are able to see, and this is what we are going to do today, guys. This is what we are going to do today. Okay, so you don't have to worry. This is what we are going to do today, guys. It's a very, very, very simple project, guys. It is not difficult, and it is something that is going to be very enjoyable as well. You can play it, and both the things we are going to code, the against AI and against the multiplayer as well, both will be coded right over there. Okay, so you don't have to worry about it, guys. Shall we start the class, guys? Shall we start the coding? Please let me know. And whatever new topics comes up, guys, never worry about it. I'm going to teach you guys both the new topic as well as whatever has been already covered. So that has been covered. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, so shall we start, guys? So, okay, so everybody knows about collab, right? This is something that we have already used. So, I don't think so. We have to discuss what is collab and why we are using collab. I hope that I have already covered that up on the very first day of the bootcamp itself, right, guys? And what is collab and why are we using collab? So, I will not be repeating that, guys. Let us create a new notebook. Okay, let us create a new notebook right over here. So as soon as the new notebook gets created, we can start coding right over there, guys. So it will take us a minute or two to create the new notebook itself. Okay, so as you're able to see, guys, here we have created a new notebook. Once we have created a new notebook, guys, we need to connect to the backend. So that due to that reason, our code and everything will start working. Okay, so we'll create our new notebook right over here, guys. As you're able to see, we have connected it to the backend as well. And now we are going to write our code. The first piece of knowledge that I want you guys to understand is what is a function, guys. Okay, or everybody was able to understand what is a variable, right? Do you guys remember variables? Please let me know. Do you guys remember variables, guys? Please let me know, guys. Do you guys remember variables, right? So variables are basically nicknames for some value, right? There is some value and you give a nickname to it. And now instead of using that value again and again, you are basically using the nickname instead of that. Similar to that, you are having something called as functions. Functions are also nicknames. Functions are also nicknames, but here the nickname that you are having, okay, the nickname that you are having, that nickname basically contains, instead of values, it will be containing other pieces of code. It will be representing other piece of code itself, guys. Okay, so instead of, so for example, we are having rent is equals to 1000. So rent is a variable. It is a nickname for the value 1000 itself. Similar to that, a function, instead of creating a value, instead of containing a value itself, it will contain a piece of code. So if you want to write that code again and again, you want to call that code again and again, instead of doing that, you assign a nickname to that particular piece of code. Maybe 10 lines, maybe 20 lines, maybe 100 lines of code, you are assigning a nickname to it, and you just call that nickname. That nickname refers to code that is contained inside of it. So instead of writing that code again and again, you can just call that particular nickname and that will run the entire code for you. So here functions are nicknames to small pieces of code. Okay. For example, right over here, guys, I'm having Groot. Okay. Groot is a very interesting character. He can stretch his arms. He's a baby Groot itself. He's made up of plant material. Okay, so I will introduce you guys to Groot right over here. I will tell you guys all the features, all the things that Groot can do for you. Okay, maybe you are getting attacked or you're getting mobbed by somebody. So Groot can actually help you out right over there. He can fight for you. But right now I've just told you something about Groot. I've just introduced you guys to Groot itself. But if you were actually getting attacked by somebody and you wanted the help of Groot, you will have to call him, right? You'll have to call him. You'll have to say that Groot, come over here and help us out. Otherwise, it is not something that I will be able to live further with. Please help me out. You'll have to call him. Only then he will be able to come and help you guys out. Similar to that with functions as well. When you're creating a function, you're just defining that what does this function do. This piece of code is what it runs. So what does that function do? You're just defining that. To use the function, to make sure that all that code is getting run, you have to call the function. Similar to how you called Groot right now, you have to call the function itself. This is just an intuition that I'm giving you guys about functions. We are going to see functions in a lot more practical manner itself, guys. So you don't have to worry about it. Are you guys able to understand at least this much? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand at least this much, guys? Please let me know. Everybody is able to understand this? Okay, so we'll start by writing our code, guys. The first thing that we are going to do is, we'll be making a GUI. I think so I've just shown you guys the entire thing itself. We are not going to create a GUI. We are going to work inside of the command line itself. The reason for that is Colab does not support that. Please try to understand it, guys, that the people right over here, not everybody has a laptop. Not everybody has a computer itself. We have to make sure that anybody coming into this bootcamp, no matter what background he is from, he's able to understand everything, he's able to learn everything, and he's able to practice everything as well. That is the aim of the bootcamp. Due to that reason, I'm choosing to go further with Colab so that everybody is able to create the AI, everybody is able to practice and have a project that they can put up on their resumes. So due to that reason, we are using Colab itself, guys. So let's start with writing our very first function. To create a function, it is very simple. You need to first define the function. What is Groot? Who is Groot? What does Groot does? You have to tell it, right? So the first function that we are going to create. So you define a function. DEF basically means defining a function itself. You have to write the function name right now. So main function that we are going to create is going to be called as the main. Okay, because it's the main function. It's the most important function right over there. So we'll call it as the main function. Then a parenthesis. What is the use of this parenthesis? I will be letting you guys know after some time. We'll be moving to our second function. We will be creating our second function. I will be telling you at that point of time what is the utilization of this parenthesis. Right now, let's just understand it like when you are defining a function, you need to put up a parenthesis right over there. Okay. You go to the next line. Now you contain your whatever code that you're going to write, that is going to be contained inside of the main function. Whatever code that you're going to write right now, that is going to be contained inside of the main function itself, guys. So we'll first ask our very first question that, dude, are you single or are you ready to mingle? Basically like something like that. So whether enter 1 for single player when you don't have a girlfriend, and enter 2 if you are having a girlfriend, if you are a multiplayer game itself. So that is what we are going to put up right over here. So we'll put up the choice right now, guys. So in Python, we need to take in an input from the user, guys. What we need to do is, we want to take in an input from the user. Okay, why is this software update coming in? We have to take in the input from the user, right, guys? So we have to first, so taking up input from a user inside of Python is very simple. You just tell Python you want to take an input. So input, INPUT, input. Okay, that is what we are going to do. And then in parentheses, the message that you want to showcase to the user. The question that you want to ask, the answer for that will be given inside of the input. So enter 1 for single people. I think so I should keep it blank itself. I shouldn't do these type of things. Single player, comma 2 for multiplayer. Okay, and we'll end the question right over here, guys. So now this is the input. Now whatever input is going to be given, okay, whatever input that is going to be given from the user, we need to save it somewhere. We need to save it inside of a variable itself so that we are able to use it at a later point of time. Okay, we need to save it inside of a variable so that we are able to use it at any particular point of time. So whatever input that the user is giving us, we will assign it to a variable called as choice. Okay, that what choice did he make? So we are going to create a choice right over here, guys, and inside of that we are going to take up the input from the user. Are you guys able to understand it? Please let me know, guys. Now, because we want, so many a times what happens, especially in Colab, guys, this is something that I want to tell you guys. So up till now, whenever we were learning about Python, we were never using a semicolon at the end. Anytime that we were using Python, we never use semicolon, right? But in Collapse, sometimes you have to use it. The reason for that is right now we are creating a game. How would you like if you are creating a game, the game is starting and some random numbers are popping up on your screen, some random addresses, some random numbers are popping up. These are all metadata, okay, information about what is getting printed on your screen, guys. And we don't want that. We don't want any kind of extra information on our screen. We just want whatever we want to print to be there on our screen, guys. For that reason, we are going to put up a semicolon at the end. It will remove any kind of unnecessary things that are getting printed out on our screen, guys. It will remove any kind of unnecessary things that are getting printed on our screen. But yes, you don't have to put up the semicolon. It is not compulsory. It is something that I do just so that at a later point in time I'm just safe. I don't have to like go through the code that who the fuck printed this thing out on my screen. Okay, so that is something up to you guys. But yeah, for my purpose, I always put up a semicolon at the end. So next, this choice that the user has given to us, whether 1 or 2, is usually a string, guys, because it's an input, like it's a text input that is there. So whatever choice is going to come to you guys, it is a string. How to convert a string to an integer, guys? I want to convert the choice. Choice contains our input, that is a string. I want to convert it into an integer. How to do that? Can you guys give me the code for it? Can you guys give me the exact code that I should write right over here to convert my choice, which is a string, to an integer, guys? Amazing. Many of you guys have written the exact right sentences itself. That's great that you guys remembered it. We have already dealt with it while learning Python. Amazing, guys. I'm so proud of you. So choice choice is equals to int and then choice choice. So now choice is an integer, guys. Now we have converted choice into an integer. The next thing that we are going to create is a list, guys. As a list. Now what is a list? List is a data structure inside of Python. Please try to understand what is the data structure. We remember data types, right, guys? Everybody remembers data types: integer, boolean, floats, strings, all these data types that we had. Now think about data types as different shapes. One is a sphere, one is a rectangle, one is a pyramid, one is a cylinder right over there. Now you need a particular like container to contain these different shapes inside of it and to take it from one place to another. Okay, you cannot just take it all in your hands and then go. Then a dumb fuck. Okay, you don't want to be a dumb fuck. You want to be a smart person. So what do? You create a bucket. You create a bucket, you put all your stuff inside of it and then go from one place to another. So we need a container that is able to contain and organize these different data types inside of it. And these containers are what you refer to as data structures, guys. As data structures. One of the most famous, most used, most blah 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 structure inside of Python is lists, guys. List is one of the most easiest data structures out there to learn and to use. So we are going to use that itself right now. Okay, to use that, it is very simple. Okay, I think so I should avoid saying fuck and all these kind of stuff inside of classes, because yeah, I think so our YouTube got a strike or some shit. Like yesterday I saw it. I don't give a fuck. Okay, so right over here, guys, we are going to create a list. We are going to call it as board, B-O-A-R-D, board. And this board is going to be a list of 9 digits. Okay, it's list of 9 digits itself. So think about it. There are 9 positions on your board, right? There are 9 positions on your board itself. We are going to represent the empty states. Okay, if there is nothing at a particular location, that is going to be 0. Okay, there are 9 positions right over there. Okay, there are 9 positions right over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're going to represent these places by 0. That means nothing. There is no x, there is no 0 right over there. So we are going to put a value of 0 right over there, guys. So you have 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, space, 0, 0, 0. Okay, I think so there are 9 zeros right over here. Let me just check it out. We don't want to miss it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so 9 zeros are there. So think about this as a numerical representation of our game board, of our tic-tac-toe board itself. Are you guys able to understand this, guys? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this, guys? Please let me know. If you're not able to understand, just let me know, guys. I'll try to make you guys understand it in a separate manner. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, simple to understand, right? Empty state of the board. There are 9 places. All those 9 places I'm representing, because it's empty, I'm representing it by zeros. So this basically corresponds to the first particular box. Nothing is there. Second particular box, nothing is there. Third box, nothing is there. Fourth box, nothing is there. Fifth box, nothing is there. So that is how I have numerically represented my game board itself. Okay, let's move on to the next particular thing. Now, if we are choosing, choice as 1, that means we want to play against an AI. Okay, so let's print that out. If, okay, so this is an if else statement, guys. We are basically checking if the criteria mentioned inside of these parentheses is true. Okay, it will be a logical operation or a conditional operation inside. If that criteria is true, then only certain lines of code should get executed, otherwise not. So it's basically like an entry gate. Okay, it's basically like an entry gate. If you are correct, you come inside. If you are wrong, fuck off from my office. It's as simple as that. Right? So here we are going to check if choice is equals to 1. Is the value of choice equal to 1? If it is, then our game is against an AI. Then our game is against an AI itself. So for that, we'll print. Okay, then whatever you are going to write after the if statement, if it is true, only then these type of lines will get executed. Otherwise, it will not get executed. We'll just move on to the next particular condition itself. So if the choice is 1, then we want to print that computer is 0 versus u is x. Okay, so computer, computer, we will put it up as 0, that is capital O, versus, okay, what the fuck happened, versus u, which will be our capital X. Okay, right over here. So just printing out that if your choice was 1, you are actually playing against an AI. So now the computer will have the O value and you will have the X value right over here. So that we have already decided. Now we need to ask the player if he wants to play first or he wants the AI to play right over there. You guys remember that? Please let me know. Do you guys remember that? Please let me know. We have to ask the player whether he wants to play first or he wants the AI to play first. Right? So let us ask that. So we have to take an input from the user. We'll call it as player. Player. Our human player, which particular position he is going to have. That is the input that we are going to take. Input. And we are going to ask him that enter to play first or second. So right over here, we are asking the player to give us an input whether he was going to play first or second. If he's first, then the player value will be 1. If he's second, then our player value is 2. The human player value is 2 right over there. Okay, again, we need to convert it into an integer, right? So player is equals to int and then player. We want to convert it into an integer. We cannot use it directly right over there, right? The next thing that we have to do is we have to use certain kind of other functions right now that we are going to build continuing in the classes itself. Okay, there are multiple functions that are going to be there, guys. Multiple functions. The first thing that we have to check right now is, okay, so we are directly assigning into choice in a single line. Okay, yes, definitely you can do it right over there just for the clarity of things so that people are able to understand, because input is a new thing, right? I have not taught you guys input up till this point of time. So to make sure that it is not confusing somebody because it's a new thing, I have put it up in a separate line. But yes, definitely you can merge them in a single line as well. That is up to you guys. I just want to make sure that you guys are able to understand stuff properly. Okay. Why don't we declare X before? What is X? Where have I declared X? Why semicolon in the end? So I've already answered that why am I using semicolon at the end? If you guys were not present in the class right over there, I think so you have not heard about it. So can somebody help them out that why I'm currently using the semicolon at the end, guys, if it's possible. Can somebody help them out, guys, that why am I using semicolon right over there? Okay. Okay, so I've already answered that, guys. I think so you were late. That is the reason why you guys don't know about it. The second thing right now, what we need to do is we need to go over the entire board, guys. For every chance that is going to be there, we need to go over the entire board once, and we have to check if somebody has won or not. Okay, please try to understand it. You have to first check if somebody has won or not. At any particular point of time when you are playing a game, there are just nine possible. There are just 9 times you can, like, both the players will be able to move a piece 9 times itself. Are you guys able to understand it? Like, there are 9 brackets right over there. There are just 9 brackets right over there, right, guys? So if the first person is putting X right over here, the second person is putting O, in that way there are only 9 times that a person will be able to put X or 0 at any particular point of time. I hope that I'm able to make you guys understand this. That both of them, both the players, there are just 9 places right over there, 9 particular branches, 9 boxes right over there, guys. So any person, okay, any person will be able to put his X or his 0. Both the players in total will have just 9 times that they can move a particular step, right? Every time it will be just 9 times that will be happening. So now we need to do that 9 steps. Now the game is starting, guys. Now the game is starting right now. So both the players both the players together will be having just 9 steps that they have to take. So we'll create a for loop. Okay, because we know that 9 steps are the only number of steps that we have to do. A for loop will help us to go over a certain piece of code 9 times. A for loop will help us go over a certain piece of code 9 times. So every step there can only be 3 possibilities, right? Every time, right now it is my chance. Let's assume it is my chance. There are just 3 possibilities. Either somebody has won, or it is my chance, or it is the computer's chance. There are just 3 possibilities right over there, right, guys? There are just 3 possibilities. Either somebody has won, either it is my chance, either it is the next person's chance. Are you guys able to understand it? Please let me know. So, and this we need to repeat it 9 times. This we need to repeat it 9 times itself. Let us do that. For I in range 0, 9. So what I've done is I've created an iteration wherein the iterable, so this is called as the iterable, that is the I. Okay, I is going to iterate over a range from 0 to 9. So first, in the first loop, the value of I will be 0. In the second loop, the value of I will be 1. In the third loop, the value of I would be 2. In the fourth loop, the value of I would be 3, and so on and so forth. And the loop will continue up till unless the value of I is less than 9. So I will first start from 0 and go up till 9. Less than 9 itself. It can never become 9. That is the reason why 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 times this loop will be iterating. Wherein the value of I will start from 0 and go till 8. That's it. It will never become 9. So 0 to 9 basically states that you are starting from 0, but you are going till 9. 9 is not included right over there. Are you guys able to understand this, guys? Please let me know. Now we need to check the 3 conditions. Every time there is an iteration, every time there is a loop. We know 9 times we are having. Every time there is a loop, we need to check 3 conditions. First condition, we need to check if somebody has won the game or not. If somebody has won the game or not. For that, we will create another function whose sole purpose in life is to check if somebody has won or not. And that we will call it as the analyze board function. Okay. The main function of this new function, the main work of this new function is that to analyze the board and tell us if somebody has won or not. That is his entire role. So we are going to see if we'll write the code for this function later on. Okay, do not worry about it. I'm just using it right now. Analyze, analyze, board. Okay, so this analyze board function is going to check whether somebody has won or not. Okay. Okay, I think so. I have to make you guys understand like loops once again. Orally, you guys were not able to understand. No issues in that. So first, guys, the first particular statement before understanding loop is that this is our game. No matter how you see it, player 1 plus player 2. Player 1 plus player 2 ka steps. The number of steps of player 1 and player 2 is always going to be 9. There can just be 9 steps in the game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 steps in the game itself. It can never be 8, it can never be 7, it can never be 1, it can never be 10. It will always remain as 9 number of steps. Now, in every step, there are 3 possible conditions. The 3 conditions are: first, either somebody has won. Someone won. Second particular condition is it is the chance of player 1. Third particular condition is chance of player 2. These are the only 3 conditions that are there, guys. Only 3 conditions in each of these 9 steps. Someone has won, it is a draw, falana dhimkana, but that is the only thing that is going to happen right now. Okay, only 3 things right over there. So what we do is we every time over 9 steps, over 9 times we have to check these 3 things again and again. 9 times we have to check that, okay, has somebody won? If not, whose chance it is? Do your chance. Okay, next time, has somebody won? Whose chance it is? Do your chance. Okay, that is what we have to do right now, 9 times. So instead of writing 9 times the code for these 3 steps, 9 times if you want to write the same code again and again, that is a very big deal. You are wasting the number of lines of code. So you have something called as a loop. You have something called as a loop itself. As the name suggests, it runs the same code again and again and again. That is the need of loop. It runs the same code again and again and again. So once you have written the 3 pieces of code, guys, these 3 things that you have to check for each loop, you put it up inside of a for loop. For I in range 0 to 9. You put it up inside of a for loop. This loop will run 9 times and every time these 3 things will be checked. Now, what do you mean by for I in range 0 to 9? Okay, for I in range 0, 9. Now 0, 9, range 0, 9 basically tells you that there is a list of numbers starting from 0 and going till 9. So the last number is 8. 9 is not included right over there. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and then 8. So as you're able to see, there are 9 values. There are 9 values in total for I to take up. In the first loop, the value of I would be 0. In the first loop, the value of I would be 0. In the second loop, the value of I would be 1. In the third loop, the value of I would be 2. And so on and so forth. And once the value of I becomes more than 8, the loop won't exist anymore. The loop is over right over there. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand? So 9 times we'll be able to run the 3 things that we need to check. Now to check if somebody has won or not, or is it a draw? Okay, we have to check both the things. If someone has won or it's a draw, we have to check both the things. So this is going to be checked by a new function of ours that we are going to write that we'll call as the analyze board. So this is a new function that we'll be creating, guys. This function only has one sole purpose in life. Whatever is the current state of board, to check if somebody has won or is it a draw. That's it. If somebody has won or is it a draw itself, guys. That's it. That is what it is going to check. So let us do that. Let us go back. Now to analyze it, this function requires the board as well, right? What will this function analyze? We need to provide it with the board. Right, the board that has like what particular position is X, what particular position is 0. That list that we created, we need to give that list to analyze board function. We need to give that list to analyze board function so that it is able to utilize that to bring an analysis for us. So let us give that to him, guys. We'll write board right over here, BOARD, board. Okay, so we are providing analyze board with a board, and we are going to check if this is not equal to 0. Okay, if this value analyze board, when we are giving the board and the board is saying that okay, somebody has 1, it is either 1, that is like x has 1, it is -1, that is 0 has 1. If it is not equal to 0, that means somebody has 1 right over there. That means somebody has 1 right over there itself, guys. So in that case, we need to close the game. We need to close the game right now, guys, because somebody has 1. We need to close the game. For that, you just write break. That will end the game itself right over here. That will end the for loop right over here, guys. Somebody has already won. It will end the for loop right over here, guys. Or it's a draw. Everything is over. Else if the analyze board function tells you that okay, everything is working absolutely well, there's no issues with anything. In that particular case, we have to decide who is going to take up the chance right now. Whose chance is it? Are you guys able to understand that? We need to understand whose chance is it, guys. So let's try to figure out how if it's the AI's chance or it is my chance itself. The player is basically providing us whether he wants to play first or second, right, guys? The player is providing us whether he wants to play first or second, right, guys? Please let me know. So why we convert the choice and player into integer? I think so. I've already answered that. I think so. You are late in the class. I've already given the answer for that as well. Okay. So now we know that, okay, if I'm choosing 1, then I'm going to go first, right? That means AI will be second. If I choose 2 right over there, that means I'm second and the AI is first, right, guys? I'm second and the AI is first right over there. So let us see that. Let us see that, guys. So alternatively, it will win. Okay. So for example, in the first case, player is equals to 1. If that is the value, I am first. Okay. So the first chance will be to the human. Second chance will be to the AI. Third chance will be given to the human. Fourth chance will be given to the AI. Fifth chance will be given to the human. Sixth chance will be given to the AI. Seventh chance will be given to the human, 8th chance will be given to the AI, and 9th chance will again be given to the human itself. If I choose player is equals to 2, that means I am, as a human, I am second. In that case, we'll be having first chance will be given to AI, the exact inverse of what is happening on top, guys. The exact inverse will be happening right over there. First will be AI, second will be human, and so on and so forth, right? So to do that, we can create a particular formula itself that can give us whose chance it is. And this formula I've already created for you guys after very much of hard work, which was not a lot, it's basic maths. I is basically how you are proceeding further into the game. I plus player. If it is divisible by 2, if the remainder after I plus player is basically even. If I plus player is basically even, that is, if I divide it by 2, then the remainder is equal to 0. If I divide I plus player by 2 and the remainder is equal to 0, in that particular case, it is the chance of AI. In that particular case, it is the chance of AI itself. Cross check it, guys. The first particular loop, I is equals to 0, right? So 0 plus 1 is 1, which is not divisible by 2. So the first chance will be of human. It is not of AI. In the next particular loop, the value of I is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 is divisible by 2. That means it is the chance of AI. And so on and so forth. Similar to that, this formula can be applied right over here as well. If the value of I in the first loop is 0, I'm adding 2 to it, then it is divisible. So the 0 plus 2 is basically 2. 2 is divisible by 2. That means the first chance will be of AI. So the first chance is given to AI itself. We will be defining analyze board at a later point of time. First, we are going to write the code for the main function. Once the main function is over, then we are going to go for the analyze board. Then we'll go for player 1, player 2. Then we'll create the AI itself. So multiple functions we are going to create one by one. So this percentage that you are able to see right over here, this basically tells you that if two numbers are divided, what is the remainder of that? Okay, when two numbers are divided, what is the remainder after that? That is what this percentage basically tells you. That is what this percentage basically tells you right over there. Guys, the percentage is mod. Okay, yes, thank you so much. Mod. It is basically called as mod right over there, not percentage. Mod. It is called as MOD, mod. Basically tells you the remainder after two divisions. Okay. So if you are still not able to understand this formula, it's basic maths. It is not related to programming at all. It's basic maths itself, guys. Okay. I'm not using any kind of programming language of this. This is basically pattern matching. You had two patterns right over here. You needed to create a formula that will fit both the patterns itself. As simple as that. That is what I've done right over here. Okay. Here, just keep in mind that the value of I is 0 in this particular case. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here as well, the value of I as well is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is how it is working. So that is how you are able to create the formula. And I've created the formula for you guys. So let us use that in our code, guys. So we'll check if nobody has 1. In that case, if our value of I plus PLAYE our player modulus 2 is equals to 0, then in that particular case, we are going to have the computer's turn. Okay. In that particular case, we are going to have the computer's turn right over there. So we are going to create another function that is called as comp turn, computer's turn itself, that's going to execute our computer's turn for us. We don't have to do anything. Okay. Are you guys able to understand it? Please let me know. We are going to create another function called as comp turn that is going to contain all the code for us, that is going to execute the computer's turn for us. So that will code at a later point of time. So comp, okay, so comp turn, okay, that is what we are going to call it as. It will also create the board. Okay, it reads the board to actually do the turn for us. The next thing that we are going to do is else. Else basically means that if this did not work, if this was false, then run this particular part of our code, guys. If this was false, then run this particular part of code. So if it is not the AI's turn, if it is not the AI turn, it is the human turn itself. Now the human has to take the turn. So we will first showcase the board to our human. First we'll showcase whatever is the current state of the board. Whatever is the current state of the board itself, guys, that is what we are going to showcase to the human. Okay. So let us showcase that right now, guys. So first const board function is going to print the entire board for us. Okay. Const board function is going to print the entire board for us, guys, so that we are able to see the board. The human is able to see the board before like doing his own turn. Okay, before doing his own turn, he is able to actually see the board itself. The second particular part that is there is we need to take in the user one turn. Whatever the user is going to put in as his turn, we need to take that in as well. For that as well, we'll create another function. For that as well, we'll create another function, guys, that is going to be called as user one turn. Okay, user one turn will be again taking in board as an input, and basically that is going to take in the input from the user that actually what step do you want to take in. As simple as that, guys. As simple as that. Are you guys able to understand this, guys? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this, guys? Please let me know. All the analyze board, comp turn, const turn, user one turn, I've made you guys understand that these are functions that we have to create. And I've made you guys understand an intuition about what these functions will do in the future. It will be a very simple thing to create these functions. These are the next functions that we are going to write after the main function. You don't have to worry about it. Okay. So now that we have written this particular piece of code, guys, okay, that is for choice is equal to 1. If choice is equal to 1, these are the steps that we have to do. What if the choice is equal to 2? We have to check for that as well. What if the choice is equal to 2? We have, please write the use of predefined functions use. We are not using any kind of predefined functions. We are going to create our own functions, guys. This is not something that we can create using predefined functions. We have to create our own functions right over there, guys. Okay, great. So right over here, guys, we have to take up the other use case right now, that is else. I think so I'm at the right point. Else. This else is basically if the choice is not equal to 1, the choice is equal to 2, that is player versus player. We are going to go with multiplayer game, people in the relationship game itself. If that's the choice, then we have to execute some other type of code itself. Again, for them as well, we are going to have just 9 times they can play, right? Both the players together can play only 9 times. Again, we'll have a for loop right over here as well. So instead of writing it again from scratch, I'm just going to copy it from right over here, guys. So I'll copy the entire thing from right over here, Control C, and I'm going to paste it right over here, guys. Control V. Oh shit. Control V. Okay, I think so I pasted it correctly itself. I feel so I pasted it correctly. Okay, but instead of having the comp turn right over here, guys, we need to have the user 2 turns. Okay, because right now we are not having computer. We are dealing with 2 users right now. We are doing with 2 users right now. So instead of having 1 and 2, so we will be having user 1 turn and user 2 turn. These are 2 separate functions that are going to take in the input from both the users. Okay, we are going to take in input from both the users. Palak is asking, the semiconductor is not, semicolon is not there in Python. Palak, you are highly mistaken. Semicolon is there in Python, but you don't have to use it. So semicolons are used in Python to hide metadata. So for example, when you print, if you guys are learning about data visualization itself, like Python has NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn. Instead of that, when you create visualizations in Python, some metadata is also printed along with that. If you don't want to see that metadata, you put up a semicolon at the end. That is how you tell Python, do not print anything else except what I am asking you to print. Do not put any kind of messages, do not put any kind of addresses, do not put any extra information, any kind of metadata. I don't want it. That is the reason why you put up a semicolon at the end. But again, in Python, you don't have to. Semicolons are not compulsory inside of Python itself. Okay. The next particular thing that is there is line 12 else if. You only think why I'm not using else if right over here. Why is else if not important right over here? You only think about it. Okay, if I am going to answer this particular question, then like it's really like logically speaking, this is not related to programming. Nothing related to programming itself. It's totally logical right over here. Those who know a little bit more, they tend to use their maximum brain capacity. Okay, I have studied about else if. I have to use else if right over here. Programming does not work like that. Programming works on just logic itself. This particular sentence is telling that if this condition is met, in that particular case, the entire thing is going to close. The game is over right over here. There is nothing after that. So you don't have to put up else if. You can just like, if this condition is met, it's just gone. The game is over. So you can put up else if as well, but that is just overutilization of 2 words for me. I'm not going to do that. I can just put up if and I'm going to get the same results. Right? Don't use overutilization of brains. Do not do that. Keep things simple, keep things sweet, keep things less complicated. It looks good, it looks amazing, works fine. Be happy. Okay, so right over here, guys, as you're able to see here, we have taken in the range and we have made sure that we are able to analyze and both the players are able to play the game properly, but we don't require the player right over here, so we are just going to use I percentage 2 is equals to 0. Because that does not make any sense. Okay, one of the player is going to play the game, so it is going to be user 1 and then user 2. That user can understand what he is going to do right over there. So we don't require the player right over here because it is not fixed who is doing what particular thing. It's just that every alternate thing every alternate should be the other player. That is the reason why I've done the percentage 2 right over there. So first, if one player is getting the chance, then the next player will be getting the chance. We are not asking them that who is going to play first. Whoever wants to play first, you just start the game itself. It's as simple as that. Okay. So I hope that up till here everything is clear. I hope that everything is clear up till this point of time, guys. Please let me know. I hope everything is clear up till this point of time, guys. Please let me know. For those guys who have been joining us late, if you, this is not something, let me tell you guys one thing, your certificates do not matter. Okay. I'm speaking to this very frankly with you guys. Google, Microsoft, Amazon certificates matter only. They have value. They have very good value. But they only have value if you know the entire project properly. If you put the project on your resume. And if anybody asks you any questions related to your project, you are able to answer it. If you are not able to do these three things, if somebody asks you questions related to your project, you are not able to answer that, your project is not there on your resume, you cannot explain the project properly to somebody, in that particular case, that certificate has negative value, not zero, negative. Because this certificate, you got it by a fraud. You didn't earn this certificate. You got it by a fraud. That is what is going to go inside of the minds of an interviewer for you. So if you are attending this session properly, you want the certificates, pay very close attention to the project. Try to understand as much as possible about the project. Practice the entire project on your own. Only then the certificate will have value. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time, guys. You're just wasting your time. That is the reason why I'm giving you guys such an amazing project. You can actually submit this project as your final year project as well. That is the level of the project right over here. In your college, you can submit it as the final year project as well. Okay. So make sure that you guys are understanding the project properly. Okay. So the next thing that we are going to do is after the second user has turned up, we are going to check if somebody has won or not. So if somebody has won, then the entire for loop will be broken right over there, right? We have used break. Basically, that means that done. This is over. I'm not going to continue further with the game. The game is over right over here. Okay, it is already written right over here, guys. So at the very end, we need to check who has won. Right now, the game is over. 9 steps have been done right over there, or something happened in the between. You need to check who won right over there, right? So when you create a value called as X, it is going to give us the final value of analyzed board, guys. When you use final value of analyzed board right over here. So ANALYZE, I think so that is the spelling. Analyzed board, BOARD, board. Analyzed board right over here. I hope the spelling is right. And then BOARD. So now the game is over, guys. The game is over. Both the players have played the game. This is the final value of analyzed board, guys. Final value of analyzed board. Whether the player was AI or human or AI, both the thing has been done. Okay. Final value of analyzed board has come to us. I think so. I've written the document. Oh, I have to put up one tab right over here. Now it's okay. So maintain the tabs, guys. Here I forgot to put up the tab. That is the reason why I was not able to see the things working correctly. Make sure you're not doing the same mistake as me, guys. Now if X is equals to 0, the value of X, this is how we are going to create analyze board, guys. That if the value of X is 0, that means the board is draw. Okay, the board is draw. To give a proof to the user that yes, the board is draw, we will provide him with the const board. So const board basically prints the board out for us. Const board basically provides us with the snapshot of the current status of the board. So just as a proof, we are providing it to it and will print draw. Because the value of analyzed board was 0. So 0 basically denotes that it was a draw itself. Okay. Similar to that, we'll just copy paste it 2 more times to figure out who if anybody else has won or not. So Control V and Control V. Oh shit. Control V. Okay. So if X is equals to -1, in that particular case, we are going to have the player X wins. O loses. Okay, player X win, O loses. And in the similar way, we are going to just copy paste this message downstairs as well. So if the value of X is equal to +1, that means O has won and player X has lost. Okay, so player O has won and player X has lost. So we need to remember this, guys, that this is something that we have declared. Okay, that we have declared that if the value of analyze board is 0, then that means it's a draw. If the value of analyze board is -1, that means X has won. If the value of analyze board is 1, that means 0 has won. Okay, this is something that we have defined. So when we will be creating our analyze board function, we will have to create it in the same format. We'll have to create it in the same format itself. Are you guys able to understand this, guys? Please let me know. We will have to create our analyze board in the same format itself, guys, that we have declared right now. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. So we have actually created our main function, guys. The main function is now done. Now we can focus upon the rest of the functions, guys. Let's first create our print function, okay, const board function, because that is one of the easiest functions to create. So we'll first create our const board functions, guys. So let us move this to the downstairs and let us create our new function def, that is const board, and that is going to take in an input, that is the current state of the board, our list that was there, guys, our list that was there, board list, that is the input that it will be using, your ARD board right over here. So what does this function does? Can somebody let me know? Can somebody let me know what does this function do? Can somebody let me know, guys? Can somebody let me know what does this function do, guys? Please let me know. It prints the current state of the board. It displays the current state of the board. Amazing, guys. And it's very simple, right? So let's print something out first. Print and then current state state of the board. And then we are going to use a \n 2 times. So \n basically creates some spacing. It's basically like printing enter. Okay, \n basically says new line. That is the full form. \n means new line. So it is basically like printing enter right over there. So we are printing enter. So that the board and the text has some spacing in between them, right? So we'll do that and then we are going to print. So for all the, so how are we going to print the board, guys? We need to understand that as well, right? How are we going to print the board? Now the list that we are having right now, okay, BOARD, board list that is there. It's a list containing 9 numbers. It's a list that is containing 9 numbers, wherein 0 represents a dash, okay, -1 represents an X and 1 represents an O. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Board contains 9 numbers right over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. 9 numbers are there. Each of these numbers, if it is a 0, it will be a like line that is empty. There's nothing right over there. -1 is X, 1 is 0 right over there. But this board is in 1 dimension. We need to print the board like this. This is how we need to print the board. This board is currently in just 1 dimension, guys. We need to print the board in 2 dimensions itself. How to do that? That is our condition right now. How to do that? So try to understand it, guys. Basically what we need to do is we start printing, guys. We start printing in 1 direction. After certain numbers, we need to go into the next line. Then we need to go into the next line. Okay, are you guys able to understand it? Let me show it to you guys once again. So for the example, the first particular digit that is there, let us number it as 0, 1, 2, let's put A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Okay, so once we write A, we print B, we print C, then we go to the next line. Then we go to the next line and continue printing. D, E, F, then we again go to the next line. GHI. That is what we need to do. So how to figure out that we need to go to the next line itself? So first thing is whenever again we are going to loop over 0 to 9. Guys, remember I is equals to 0 to 9 guys. 9 digits we need to print. So again 9 times we have to loop over. Whenever the value of I is percentage 3, then we have to go to the next line. What does that mean? So in the first loop, okay, in the first loop, so values of I, let us put up the values of I right over here. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Okay, values of I are first loop 0, second loop 1, third loop 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are the values of I guys. These are the values of I. So first we are having a value of I is 0, we print A. Value of I is 1, we print B. Value of I is 2, we print C. Now when the value of I is 3, we need to first go to the next line, right guys? When the value of I is 3, so 3 is divisible by 3, right? 3 is divisible by 3 is 0, right? There's no remainder after that. So we go to the next line, okay? So D, and now the value is 4, okay? E, now the value is 5. F, now the value is becoming 6. Again 6 divided by 3 is equals to 0. Right guys, again we'll move to the next line, G, H, I. Again the value will become 9 because after this it is 9. So 9 divided by 3 is equals to 0. So whenever the value of I is divisible by 3, we are going to go to the next line. We are going to print \n. Whenever I is divisible by 3, we are going to print \n guys. As simple as that. But what about when I is 0? When I is equals to 0, then 0 divided by 3 is also 0. 0 divided by 3 is also 0, right guys? So we need to avoid this particular situation. I should not be equal to 0. I should be greater than 0 itself and divisible by 3. Then we go to the next line. Then we start going to the next line itself. Okay, so these edge cases, you have to think about these type of things. The edge cases, you have to think about it as well, guys. So let us do that. Let us go back to our code and write this out. So for I in range 0, 9, we are going to check if I is greater than 0. I should not be equal to 0. I percentage, that is mod 3 is equals to 0, that is it is divisible by 3. In that particular case, we are going to print \n. We are going to go to the next line itself. But because after going to the next line, we still have to print something, right? Even after going to the next line, we need to print that next value itself, right? So we cannot use else. We cannot use else, guys. We only have to use if. We have to check every single condition, guys. Because right now you can't just like, okay, we have gone to the next line. We still have to print something. We still have to print x, 0 or dash. We still have to do that right now. So we cannot use else. We just have to use if only. We still have to use just if itself. So if we are going to have, guys, the class of 90 minutes. So for those who are asking about attendance, let me just remind to you guys that 2 people are there who are volunteers at DevTown whose only job is to note down your email IDs and blacklist you because you are not there in the class for studies, you are there for attendance. And these people we don't send the certificates to. So at a later point of time, if you are not receiving the certificates, do not come back complaining to me, sir, I didn't get my certificates. You know why you have not got your certificates. Okay, you know that. You don't have to come back to us. Okay, focus upon your class. Otherwise, you can leave at any particular point of time. We are not making that anybody to stay here on a gunpoint or some shit. Okay, you guys can leave at any particular point of time. You are here, study as much as possible. Okay, so if board at location I, okay, board at location I, the value is equals to 0. In that particular case, we are going to print a particular underscore itself. That is a dash. We're going to print a dash itself, guys. And after the dash, we will end this up with a space. So here what we have done is we are printing a dash because the value of I was 0. Like I said, if the value of I was 0 itself, okay, so that means like there's a hyphen right over there. There's a hyphen right over there, guys. And we are putting up at the end as a space because every time that this is ending, we need to provide some spacing as well. It shouldn't be all the dashes are together. It will look very odd. We need to provide some spacing in between a dash and an X and an O. The box should look like a box itself. So this, we have just put it up so that a proper space can be put up on our screen. So every time this is being printed, it will end with a spacing as well, guys. It will end with a spacing as well. Okay, the next condition that is there is, if I will just copy this out, I don't want to write it 2 times more. Okay, let's copy this out, guys. Copy, paste, backspace, copy, paste. Is I is equals to minus 1. In that case, we are going to put a capital X, guys. In that case, we are going to put a capital X with again some spacing right over here. And then if I is equals to 1, in that case, we are going to print a capital O and then space. Are you guys able to understand this, guys? Please let me know. Instead of using chain 3 conditions, can we use a switch statement? For these 3 conditions, yes, you can definitely use a switch statement as well. But again, I find the if-else statement to be very simple to understand. Like it does not like switch. Again, for many of the students, it will be a new topic, something very different. So instead of keeping it like again and again using different things, you can keep it as simple as possible as well. Do not make your code unnecessarily complex. Okay, it makes no sense. Keep your code as simple as possible. That will be helping you guys out more than anything. Okay. The next thing that we have to do is, to end the thing, we have to just like make some more spacing at the end after printing the board. So print, we have printed the entire board, guys. We have printed the entire board right now. Just making sure a little bit more spacing is there at the end. So like 2 backslashes again printed at the end, new lines. So above some space, below some space, beach mein board. The board is there inside of the middle itself. That is what we have done right over here. I plus 1 percentage 3 is equals to 0. No, you can't write that. It is going to be I percentage 0 because you want to check exactly when I is equal to 0. That is 3. I starts from 0. The counting of I starts from 0, guys. Always remember that. Okay. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this, guys? Please let me know. Okay, so we'll stop right over here. I want you guys to code this entire thing today, if it's possible, just as a quick revision. Because the code will get bigger and bigger with time. I don't want you guys to see the entire code at once and be like, oh shit, I have to write so much code. I want it to be a very easy and breezy process for you. We have written 50% of the code up till now. There are 110 lines of code. We have written 52 lines of code. So 50% of the code we have already written right now, guys. Tomorrow, we are going to talk about some new topics, and day after tomorrow, we are going to complete the project itself. Guys, thank you so much, guys. Just make sure that you are able to practice everything that we have learned in today's class. Okay, just make sure that you guys are able to practice everything that you have learned in today's class, guys. Thank you so much, guys, and we'll continue from right over there. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Bye, guys. Bye.